My name is Leslie, and today is day 111, porn free. And honestly, came on here because I was like, let's just chat while I'm filing my nails because why not? And yeah. One moment. Okay, apparently I'm not going to. Tonight starts the Sabbath, and one of the things that I'm always trying to figure out is what on earth a Sabbath is going to look like, And I will be the first to admit I struggle with the spirit of religion. And honestly, I feel like everybody's afraid of, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I know I struggle to distinguish between the spirit of religion and the relationship, because in my mind, and if your mind is like this too, cool. And by cool, I mean it's not cool, but you know, um, I was praying about it earlier with God, and I think the biggest thing with the spirit of religion, because like you take a step back and you look at spirit of religion and relationship, and both of them have to do with obedience. God says, if you love me, keep my commandments. But then what's the difference between loving God and keeping his commandments and the spirit of religion where you follow the commandments? And that's something I struggle so much with because I'm a very task-oriented person. And one of my prayers is that God makes me more of a people-oriented person. But I just started, he started convicting me about how so much of it has to do with pride. The spirit of religion, I can earn my way into heaven. It's, oh, look at me. I'm doing all these things right. I'm obeying God. I'm so righteous, And it's judgmental. Oh, I'm doing this, but they're not. So I'm holier than thou. And when it comes to the relationship and just surrender and obedience out of love, it's going to have nothing to do with how holy you are. Because first of all, you can do everything right and still not see yourself as holy. Was it C.S. Lewis that said, the closer you get to God, the more you see yourself as a sinner? And it makes sense. Like, you can go out and do some work and then come inside and be like, I feel a little dirty, let me take a shower. And it's not until you get in the shower and you see the dirty water just pouring off of you that you realize, like, oh my word, I was filthy. And then, the longer you're in the shower, you get clean, but you realize that the only way you're going to stay clean is by continuing to shower, because it's impossible to go through life without getting dirty. And to everyone like me who is very conscious of germs, that can be incredibly painful. It just like how in the real world, germs aren't actually, not all germs are bad for you. Some of them actually strengthen your immune system. So you don't want things too sterile. Our weaknesses are like the germs that, oh my gosh, guys, they're like the germs that strengthen our immune system. Except instead of it being our immune system, it's our faith and our character. That's so cool. And I think that's the biggest difference between religion and obedience. Because obedience is going to come with humility. It's going to say, okay, I messed up. I need to go to God. It's going to say, oh my gosh, I want to obey God, but I can't do it on my own. I need to confess, and I need to have somebody to hold me accountable. It's full of grace. Hold on. No, it's full of both grace and mercy. I'm always mixing up which of them is being given the thing that you don't deserve. That one's grace. And then mercy, not being given the thing you do deserve. And when you're walking in obedience, because you're also in humility and deep love for God, when you see other people walking in their own way, perhaps they're not in the same place in their walk with Christ as you. Perhaps they're just struggling with something and they're trying really hard. There's not going to be judgment. Whereas with the spirit of religion, it breeds shame. Because you have to try to prove yourself. You're not going to like to admit when you're wrong or when you have something that you're struggling with. It's going to be very much self-focused about reputation. And because of that reputation, because of that self-focus, because of that needing to have the self-righteousness, it breeds shame, possible self-hatred, and distance from God. Because quite frankly, the more we try in our own power to fight things, the further we get from God. It's kind of like the person who obviously needs help. Hi. I'm really calling myself out with this one. The person who so obviously needs help but then refuses the help. And refusing the help, you push that person away, and you can't have deep, meaningful relationships with the people you push away. And I think that's what it is. Spirit of religion comes from pride, and if you love me, keep my commandments comes from humility. To be able to say, I love you, Lord, and I want to keep your commandments, but I can't in my own power. I need your help. Everything really does come down to heart posture. Am I me focused or am I God focused? And if you're God focused, you're others focused. One could argue that Lucifer was the first. He was the father of the spirit of religion. He was the first to become me focused. And technically, the spirit of religion is idolatry of self. Everything seems to come back to pride and idolatry. Everything. It's like if we just do two things. One, admit that we are imperfect and incapable of loving correctly, acting correctly, and living correctly without the help of God. And two, admitting that it is only through God that we can even come close to hoping to doing those three. And I think about it, like we're all made in his image, so we all have the capability to love deeply. We all know good from bad because he's written that on our hearts. And without Christ, we may be able to get pretty darn close. but there will still always be that gap, that imperfection, the humanity. Right? Well, that was a new thing I learned today. Spirit of religion is just self-idolatry. Dressed up as Christianity. Which there's quite a few religions out there like that. The ones that claim Jesus but don't. Well, thank you for thinking through that with me. I guess until next time, have fun, stay safe, and don't die. But if you do, give Jesus a big hug for me. Bye, guys.